စိတ်စဉ်ဉာဏရုပ်တွင်ပတ်
We are discussing this expression, shaping the mind will shape the body, or shaping the mind. Mind means mind process or mind stream, not just the mind. By shaping the mind, one shapes the body. The body becomes beautiful. Just with the practice of dana, kusala is not enough in order to sustain sila. Dana is not directly concerned with sila, moral conduct or morality. Sharing, it is just sharing one's belongings with others, in a way helping others for their prosperity, for others' prosperity, so that they are fulfilled with the needs. And it is not directly concerned with moral conduct. Now, if one helps in this way, with generosity, without regard for oneself, for one's own interest, and not expecting any worldly gains or fame, then one becomes free of lobha to some extent, free of greed. There will be no attachment. One becomes detached with the objects, with the materials shared. And you're helping others. When you help others, you possess these two wholesome mind states, namely metta and karuna, loving kindness and compassion. Only by possessing metta karuna, you can help others. As you go on helping much in this way, you become the possessor of metta karuna. Because you are looking at the happiness and prosperity of others, not wishing them to suffer. If one has greed, one becomes greedy to an extreme case of greed. This is what is meant. Not just simple wanting, but extreme case of wanting, extreme case of greed. Then one will become so greedy and will not be able to have good mind, good mentality, because one is greedy, one will be defiling oneself. And if one has anger or dissatisfaction to the extreme, then also one can be led into transgressive actions by body and speech, violent actions. So with dana, generosity, you can reduce lobha and dosa to a certain extent, and leave the door open to moral conduct, to practice moral conduct, leaving the way open towards the practice of moral conduct. With the concept, right concept of the law of karma, that good begets good, bad begets bad, then one will not do unnecessary, unskillful things. One will abstain from unskillful deeds. Like, for instance, abstain from taking intoxicants. They are just nonsense, not necessary. They are not essential things for life. So in this way, doing dana, reducing lobha and dosa, opens the way to sila, and very helpful for moral conduct. Hence, dana kusala opens the way to the practice of sila. It's very helpful in the practice of sila. Otherwise, if you just do dana in ordinary way, without loving kindness and compassion, then even with dana you can commit unwholesome deeds, filthy deeds. There are many such people in the world. And when you are doing dana, this becomes you are free from dushritas, and you are able to sustain this sila kusala eventually, so that you will not be committing or you may not be conducting your physical verbal behaviors in the wrong way. They become properly shaped, properly fashioned, until when you continue to do this and come to the practice of high level discipline of the way of mindfulness, which cultivates the mind and insight, noting continuously like a current, then by shaping your mind in this way, mind stream in this way, you will be shaping your physical appearance or the body. Then you are said to be adorning yourself with sila, so that your physical verbal behaviors will become more and more pure in an extraordinary manner, shaping and fashioning your physical and verbal behaviors. When you do such things, from starting with good dana and sila, then you become beautiful, because your body is properly shaped, beginning with the beautiful face. Even if you are initially ugly, you will become beautiful. You will shine bright. Hence, it is said, by shaping the mind stream, one's body becomes beautiful, or one purifies the body. And in this connection, out of the 4 wheels, Cakka, Sadhu Cakka, Sampatti Cakka, Atasma Panidi, right self-cultivation is most important in shaping and purifying one's life. In order to develop this Sampatti, this wheel of success or accomplishment, in order to come to reach or to come to a favorable circumstance, the Buddha has said that first of all, one must come and live in a suitable location, Patirupa Disavasa, where one can find or one can get kusala, meritorious deeds, good deeds, wealth, education, and so on. And out of these things, kusala is most important. Good deeds to cultivate one's behaviors, so that one becomes real human being, possessing human knowledge, and can live like a human being, which is most important. That's why we should give preference to the performance of good deeds rather above the earning of wealth and education and other things. So, to this end, one must be able to choose the right place, a suitable place where one can perform kusala. Once one gets there, one is said to be well grounded in one's life. Once you get there, you have the opportunity to meet virtuous people like your good parents and good teachers, good friends, good companions, saburi sa vasyo or nisya. Saburi suba vasyo or nisya. It is depending on being able to depend on the good people, virtuous people. one cannot deny that this dependence on good people is connected with coming and living in a suitable location, Padisupatisa. And because of this Nisya or Vasaya, initially one possesses Saddha and Chanda, faith and zeal, desire to undertake the practice, to cultivate oneself. Then one will cultivate one's behaviors, especially cultivate the mind, or mind process, or mind stream, leading to properly shaping one's physical and verbal behaviors. That is Atasamapanidi, self-cultivation, right self-cultivation. Hence, this wheel of Atasamapanidi, right self-cultivation, is connected with Sabrisuppa, Nisya or Vasaya, dependence on the virtuous or good companions. Because you have the chance to meet the good companions, you are able to perform right self-cultivation, Atasamapanidi. Because of this wheel of Atasamapanidi, one can cultivate one's mind, one can perform this dana kusala, purify one's mind, so that one's physical, verbal behaviors will become pure, and that also is gaining kusala. Especially when one practices the lofty Satipatthana practice, which guarantees real peace and happiness. You have the chance to do so. So one cannot deny that this dependence, because of the dependence on the virtuous and right self-cultivation, now you are able to perform good deeds. Because of this Atasamapanidi Sampatti, the Sampatti, the success, accomplishment of Atasamapanidi, right self-cultivation, you are able to perform all sorts of, a variety of kusala in this very life. And if you look at it from your future existence, you will come to realize that the present Atasamapanidi, which cultivates one's mind, becomes Ubhikara Punyata. That is, having done good deeds in the past, this will become the past for the future. And because you have done Parami Kusala. This is perfected Kusala. In this way, the four wheels of success rotate in order to realize real good, real peace and happiness. Like when you practice Satipatthana Bhavana. Gradually you are uplifting yourself, turning round and round. That's why it is said, it is called in Pali, Cakka, meaning wheel, in order to reach the right circumstance. So the virtuous people of the old days, the ancients, have said this like a maxim: because of the previous good, the present is good. Because of the present good, the future will be good. The past good means Ubhikara Punyata, having done good things, good deeds in the past. Although we cannot know what we have done in the past because we don't possess the extraordinary knowledge, but judging from the present good, that we have the chance to practice good deeds, we can say through logical deduction, pranumana, that it is quite evident that because of the past good, because we have done good things in the past, that we have the chance to do good things in the present. Such as Padirupa Disavasa coming to a suitable place, and Saburi Supanisya or Vasaya, associating with the virtuous, good people, and Atasamapaniti, right self-cultivation. Now, after listening to the sublime Dhamma, we shape ourselves, that is right self-cultivation, and what we do in this life will also lead to the future good, and we will be able to do good things in the future. In this way, the wheel of success rotates. That is the worldly sense. However, it is necessary, it is essential that this wheel should not break, so that your kusala will also break. It is necessary to let it rotate all the time, continuously. And to do so, just dana and sila, performance of dana and sila, is not enough. Even samatha, to the extent of attaining supernormal powers and bhinyas, is not enough. They can be disrupted anytime. This machine can break down anytime. So, to be able to possess this kind of wheel of success in all our existences, we need to practice what is known as mega brahmacharya, good deeds, noble deeds, wearing the cloak of the sila samadhi panya, practicing satipatthana. And it is necessary, it is important to have the chance to practice satipatthana, which is in a sense the sila samadhi panya. Here you are having good chance, good opportunity, and as much as you practice this mega brahmacharya, noble practice, and also while we are in the Buddha sadhana, Buddha in the fortunes of Buddhism is here. That is the Buddha's teaching, Buddha's dispensation, in the period of Buddha's dispensation, Bodhopada. So when we have these two things, mega brahmacharya and Bodhopada, good practice and Buddha sadhana, when these two things are here, we have the chance, and we should not miss this opportunity, so that yogis can shape their mind stream to beautify their life. These four sampattis, four wheels of success, or Cakkas, a condition. This is dependence. It serves as a very great dependence, especially for the high-level practice. In other words, high-level practice depends very much heavily on these four sampattis. This explains yoniso abhoga, right attitude, right ideas. And this is similar to yoniso manasikara, which we have said very often. Right attention, right consideration. This gives you right attention, right consideration, right attitude, right ideas, right thoughts. This is the correct, what is correct or not. One can always make a judgment. As you go on practicing this high-level kusala, out of four sambhajanya, awareness, clear awareness or clear understanding. The first two clear understanding or clear awareness, namely sadhaka sambhajanya and Sappaya Sampajanya. Saddhaka Sampajanya means judging whether a thing, an undertaking, whether it's speaking or doing, acting, is beneficial or not, whether you are doing for oneself or others, such as Saddhaka Sampajanya, the awareness, a clear understanding of the benefit or otherwise of an undertaking. Whether excuse me, whether it conduces to development or not, you can make a judgment. So this is, you are able to discriminate between what is beneficial or what is not beneficial. If it's beneficial, you can undertake it. If it's not beneficial, you just leave it. Now, if you do something which is beneficial, if you observe beneficial things, then there will be no harm. If you do things which are not beneficial, then you will be harmful. It will be harmful. If you do something beneficial, then it will conduce to your development and prosperity. So, for this, such things depend on this kusala, and this gives this dependent on this kusala is dependent on this judgment. Then also the next clear awareness, sampajanya, namely sappaya sampajanya. Even if it's beneficial, will you do it? You have to make a judgment. You have to think whether this is suitable or not. So these two things. One is beneficial or not, and the other is suitable or not. Suitable or not is sappaya sampajanya, clear awareness of the suitability. So even if something is beneficial, if it's not suitable, you will not undertake it. So, in the world there are many things which are beneficial but not suitable. Let us say for the monks, they give discourse, and they give the suitable time for them to give discourse is such a time when everything is, the atmosphere is quiet and the atmosphere is suitable and people are prepared to listen. If people are not prepared to listen, even if a monk's discourse may be good, nobody will listen to it and it won't be suitable. If you go in the street and shout, and they won't listen, then it will be of no use. So the circumstances must be conducive for the monk to give a discourse, that is suitability or not, that is given by the sappaya sampajanya, clear awareness or understanding of suitability. So we have to make a judgment whether it is beneficial and suitable. If it's beneficial and suitable, you do it. And even if it's beneficial, if it's not suitable, you don't do it. So these are the two clear awareness or understanding. These two things, awareness, you don't have to think about these things for a long time. They just come up at a very short moment, in an instant. They come up in your mind. You don't have to look through your books or think over it, for a long time. It comes up in an instant with your own experiential knowledge, with your own personal knowledge. Such is the benefit of the practice of Satipatthana. So, such is a right such a right attitude, right consideration, right ideas, right thoughts. And for this, do some jhanyas, do clear awareness or clear understanding are essential. These two things are also called nipaka, that is prudence, which has reached maturity, matured or highly developed prudential knowledge. So this prudential consideration is very essential for everybody, both in the worldly affairs as well as Dhamma or spiritual affairs, spiritual matters. It is also called Patihariya Panya, that is knowing whether an undertaking is beneficial and suitable or not. And this will serve as your pocket wisdom. I mean, a kind of wisdom you can put in your pocket and carry it all the time with you. So I just call it pocket wisdom, like a pocket dictionary. So if one possesses such wisdom or knowledge, then whether you do mundane worldly affairs or Dhamma affairs, you are bound to realize benefit. They are very beneficial for both these matters. So to come to this assured circumstance, it is necessary to practice this Arasamappaniti, right self-cultivation. It is obvious that out of these four wheels, the wheel of self-cultivation, Arasamappaniti, is most crucial. And excuse me, you have to be careful not to break down this machine. So far we have talked about, things we have discussed, is concerned with what is known as Pichima Bhavika individuals. For them, it is quite sure. For them, it is dead sure. Pichima Bhavika means the Arhats, whose present life, this very life, is the last for them, and there's no more becoming. As for ordinary persons, we are not assured as yet. We are not sure about whether we have sufficient the sufficiency of success. As for these Pachima Bhavika, whose existence is the last one, namely the Arhants, for them it is sure. That means they are sure of possessing this prudence and clear awareness and things like that. And even if they move about, even these Arhats, whose existence is the last one, move about among the crowd, at least volitionally speaking, they will not make any mistakes. And they don't have to apply or activate the deed purposely, because they are always mindful automatically. Like a skilled driver driving a brand new car with good engine, knowing the traffic rules and driving along the traffic-free road, along the track at normal speed, being fully conscious of the traffic rules. So Arhants also will be able to behave like this. They won't do any mistakes, and one will not make mistake. So one will not suffer, others will not suffer also. Such is the nature. So once one is fulfilled with these four Sampattis, one can possess wonderful ideas and thoughts. Just one's life also is straight. One can walk straight throughout one's life without any mistakes in oneself. Because one does not make mistake by oneself, one will not suffer, and others also will not suffer because of one's mistake. How nice will such a life be? But such things will not happen to ordinary individuals. Only when you can practice and to a satisfactory stage, this high level discipline of the way of mindfulness, shaping the mind, purifying the body, will be able to possess to some extent, even if one has not become an arhat. One can control oneself so as not to make mistakes. And so long as this wheel of Adasmapaniti, wheel of right self-cultivation, is rotating, one is bound to reach conducive, good, suitable circumstance, and such is Sampatti. Unless one attains the path consciousness, at least the first path, one's Adasmapaniti, the wheel of self-cultivation, right self-cultivation, can break down. As for Putujanas, ordinary beings, it is never sure. Today, he or she may be a good person, and tomorrow, not a good person. In this life, he or she may be a good person, and the next life, a bad one. Never sure about his or her life. So this is this story during the Buddha's time, in this connection, the story of Devadatta, who was the Buddha's cousin as well as brother-in-law. He was able to possess some sampattis, such as Parirupa Desavasa, coming to a suitable location, having a chance to meet with the Buddha, and have a chance to listen to the Dhamma, and have a chance to meet with Sangha. Actually, he was one of the Sangha. Quite obvious. He can also rely upon the Buddha. So, but with the practice, he was able to attain mundane or worldly absorptions, jhanas, to the extent of supernormal powers, apenyas. So we can say that he had done things, good things in the past. For the past good, he was good in the present. However, since he had not done this practice, cultivate his mind with the Satipatthana, Adasmapaniti, the wheel of Adasmapaniti has broken down in him. So much so that he wanted to become a Buddha by assassinating the Buddha, and all these wrong views, wrong concepts, wrong ideas arose in him because he was not able to shape his mind with the Satipatthana. There was no Adasmapaniti. He was not even a Riya, a noble one. He was just a Putujana, ordinary being. So, as an ordinary being, there is tendency of going the wrong way. His Adasmapaniti wheel had broken down. So there was no right attitude, right attention, right consideration, no right ideas, wrong answer, wrong ideas, wrong attitudes, wrong thoughts, wrong views, only wishing to become Buddha by assassinating the Buddha. So he was going the wrong way without this Adasmapaniti, never coming to a good circumstance, good situation. Instead he had come to a bad situation, known as Vipatti, not Sampatti, reverse of Sampatti. This is just one example. The root cause lies in the lack of Atasamapaditi, shaping one's mind, purifying one's body. And only when one can practice to the stage of noble stage, Ariyahood, one is not sure of going the right way. As Purujana, as a life of Purujana, it is quite dangerous. Today, he or she may be a good person, tomorrow not. This life, he or she may be a good one, tomorrow not. So, unless one is Arya, one will not possess this Sampatti instead of Vipatti. A wrong accomplishment, not success, failure. So, Atasamapaditi is quite sure that Atasamapaditi sends us to a suitable condition. During the Buddha's time, there is another example, the story of Ajatasattu, who possessed paramis, perfections, because when Buddha preached him one night, this discourse known as Samanyapala, the fruits of monkhood, he could have become a Sotapanna. He had enough parami to realize that, to attain that stage after the discourse of Samanyapala, the fruits of monkhood. However, because of his patricide, killing his father, he was prevented from attaining this stage. He lost this chance. So it is obvious that although he had a good deeds done in the past, Pubhikara Punyata, he could not gain the benefit of it. And also, presently, at that time, he was able to rely on his virtuous father, King Bimbisara. But he was associating with a bad guy, Devarata. So, because of his wrong association, he became a foolish person, because he was not able to depend on a wise person. Instead, he was associating with a bad person like Devarata. He was plotting. He plotted to kill his own father, while Devarata plotted to assassinate the Buddha. So the plot was Devarata would make himself the Buddha, and Ajatasattu will become king, will make himself a king. So they will enjoy life together. One is the Buddha, another is king. Good pair. But thing does not happen like this. There's much lobha, much greed. He wanted to become king. Because he had killed his father, he was foolish enough, having his lobha dosa, not seeing the flaws of these unwholesome things, not possessing this Atasamapaditi, he suffered great loss. And of course he became king, as he expected, as he expected. But due to this great, serious, wrong karma, he suffered great loss. Therefore, it is quite obvious that Atasamapaditi, right self-cultivation, is crucial. So, if the Buddhajanas, ordinary beings who are thick with kilesas, defilements, will be deficient in their reasoning power, prudence, if they remain uncultivated, especially with the bhavana, if they are not cultivating their behaviors, if they don't improve themselves, if they remain like this, then they will be very easily reactive or responsive to objects which they come across, whether their objects are pleasant or unpleasant, desirable or undesirable. There will be gladness or sadness about good or bad things, and they will not be able to balance themselves when confronted with the worldly conditions, loka dhamma, because they cannot control themselves. They cannot calm their emotions down when it comes to such objects, sensuous objects, and cannot withstand the worldly conditions as they arise. Because they cannot control themselves, this is quite dangerous. For those who have not cultivated themselves, for those Buddhajanas, ordinary beings, they are very responsive, reactive, emotional. They're just becoming greedy and angry and not being able to balance themselves. It's quite sure. In this connection, a certain Brahman came to the Buddha and asked this question. Said, Gautama, after you have attained Parinibbana, that means after your death, what are the reasons for the decadence or otherwise of the Saddhamma, sublime Dharma, or human culture? And Buddha answered, unless one can practice Satipatthana to a satisfactory stage, then his or her Saddhamma or human culture will decline. And the corollary is true. If one is able to practice to a satisfactory stage, then his or her Saddhamma will not decline. So the commentaries also add to this statement, the Buddha's answer, that whoever he or she may be, monk or lady, even during the Buddha's lifetime, if one cannot practice Satipatthana satisfactorily, then his or her Saddhamma, human culture, or physical or verbal mental behaviors are bound to decline. Like Devadatta and so on. Even if they have attained Lokiya jhanas, mundane absorptions, and they become so conceited, such persons like Devadatta could become so conceited as to wanted to become a Buddha. So because one has not shaped one's mind stream correctly, rightly, one is compared even to the worst individual like Devadatta. So only with the practice of Satipatthana to satisfactorily, will his or her sadhana or Saddhamma or human culture will endure for a long time. Well, this is a story of the Buddha's time, but the current, in the present time. If you have not heard this story, maybe you have heard the story, but if you have not heard, or if you have heard, just listen. This is about a yogi in America. When he was of good age, he got married, and his living condition was good. But he could not sustain the 5 precepts. He did all sorts of dodgeridas. So at that time he thought that something was missing in his life. At that time his wife, bad wife, of course, took his money away, took all his property away, and he was left poor without a dollar. looks like he took up drinking, just like any other man or woman, in order to console himself or herself. But when you are drunk, it is maybe all right. You are sort of uninhibited. But after the drink is gone, then the bad ideas, misery will come back again. So there's nothing to rely on in his life. So he met a new woman who later became his wife. This woman, she put him on the right path, Dhamma path, the Satipatthana. It is, in essence, Atasma Pariddhi. He didn't say so at that time. Atasma Pariddhi only came to us only now, very recently. So he was able to shape his mind, beautify his body. So his mind, his attitude becomes straight, good mind, and he married this woman. Then after his marriage, after he got this new wife, he became very prosperous. He could earn a lot of money. Previously he was not able to withstand these worldly conditions. Now he was able to do so. He didn't react to adverse conditions. He was able to control himself. He was able to maintain balance. So now he said he found the solution to his life's problem. That's what he said. So this practice of Satipatthana can shape your mind. You can find a required solution to life's problem. That is, if you have this Atasma Pariddhi, you can assume the right attitude, right idea, right consideration, and being fulfilled with sila, your moral conduct also becomes straightened, cultivated, and so is your mind becomes concentrated, still, and knowledge also arises. This is Patihariya Panya. That is knowing or judging whether an undertaking, whether a task is beneficial and suitable or not beneficial nor suitable. This is fulfillment of one's life. This gives rise to real peace and happiness. Though one may not possess a large amount of wealth, peace of mind is what is essential. So Satipatthana is a sure path, is a sure practice to lead you to good path instead of the wrong path. Satipatthana practice will show the right path instead of the wrong path. It will show the path to cultivate your mind and the body, and whoever walks this path is bound to realize the benefit. If one can walk satisfactorily, one can get the benefit many more times than what you can expect to get. Leave alone the next life. Even in this very life, you are bound to realize that benefit. But if you walk the wrong path, if you walk the Satipatthana path, the right path, by walking the right path, you are bound to reach the right destination. That's the end.